Hi everyone, my name's Paul from Bernie's Learning. So in today's video, what we're going to be learning about is dollar signs in formulas, how to use them and how what they're actually there for, and how to also learn a couple of quick, easy shortcuts that will help you get your formulas in place quickly and simply. All right, so let's get into it. To start off with, we're going to have a look at exactly what dollar signs do within an Excel formula. To start off with, we're going to do a really simple example. So in this example, I'm going to take the value of cell A3 and I want to place it into cell C3. So in this formula, I just have a reference of A3 in the formula. Now, what happens in the default of Excel is that when you copy that formula to another location, so if I move it across two cells, what happens is that the cell reference moves with it as well. Okay, so that means that originally in this cell here, we were two cells across, two rows across, in referencing cell A, the column A. Now, when we move across a further two, what's happening is we're now referencing automatically a further two cells across. So that's the default of what Excel does. Now, if I copy that formula again and then I paste it two cells down, what's happening now is that it's referencing two cells below where it was originally. So what you can see is Excel is basically automatically adjusting the formulas. And that's fine and that works in a lot of cases. However, there will be certain circumstances where you do want to copy the same formula over and over and over again and you want to reference the same cells. So for example, if I had, let's say, a dollar exchange rate that I wanted to reference every time, so I might have the US dollar to Australian dollar is 77 cents, or I think it's closer to 67 cents at the moment. What I can do is I would want to constantly reference that cell. Now, the problem I have is that if I start copying the formula to other locations, it will start modifying the position of that reference cell as well. And that's where dollar signs come in. So to show you what they actually do is firstly we'll show you what the shortcut is, which is that there are three different settings that you can have in the dollar signs, which we'll quickly toggle through them now, which is both dollar signs in front of both the column and the row reference, just in front of the row reference and just in front of the column reference, and then back to where it was originally. So if we want to apply that, what I was doing there was hitting function key F4, which toggles through all the possibilities. So all you need to do is place your cursor on there and toggle through, and you can quickly find the one that you're actually after. Okay, so if we apply both the column as being fixed and the row being fixed, what will happen is that when I copy that formula across to another location, what will happen is that you'll see that I still get the same cell reference. It's no longer being modified, and that is handy in cases where you are referencing a specific cell. And conversely, if I decide that, for example, I want to only fix one of the locations, I can do that as well. So if I modify this again using my F4 function key, and let's say now I only want to fix the row height, so the rows, but not the columns, I can copy that across, and what you'll see happens if I move two across, you'll see that the column reference has moved by two, but the row reference has not. And that's pretty much what dollar signs do. So to give you a practical example of where this is useful and how you can get a few shortcuts into it, we'll go into some real data. So this is a formula for a product. It's been dropped out of a computer system, and then we've got the percentage component in each product. And what we want to know is what is the the component that they're actually referring to, what's its real name, and then what exactly is it really, and what's it being classified as. So to do that, I'm going to use a vlookup to do that. Okay, so I'm going to look up my lookup value. I'm going to go to my next table where the data is held, and I am looking for column number 2, which is the name of the product. Okay, and then it's telling me it's water that's going in. Now, if I want to fix the position, so let's say not only do I want to know the whether it's water or not, I also want to know what classification it is. Is it a pigment? What type of pigment it is? So I want to get that information as well. So what I can do is that I need to set this formula up to ensure that I can transfer it crossways and then copy it downwards. Now, in this particular example, I always want to be referencing that component value. So I'm going to fix the $sign in there. And I also don't want to change the table array either. I want to reference the same place. So I now have a formula that is all set up to be able to be changed. And there's 2 other columns that I want. And you'll see that I've just dragged them across and they're referencing the same value, which is what you would expect. So all we need to do is change the array value, the column number, which we can quickly check what it is. So B would be 1, C would be 2, D would be 3, E would be 4, F would be 5, and we want 5 and 6 cell reference. So we would change that to 5. 5. And then 6, we can set up our formulas relatively quickly and easily. Okay, now the reason you do that is that one of the shortcuts we want to show you that makes it much more efficient to be able to do formulas is we can use a little trick, which is you'll see there's a little square in the corner here. If we take that, and this would be much more applicable if there's much longer data, I can double click on that and it automatically applies the formula downward, so I can now see the values for all of these things. Now, what you will notice though, and the reason I've got the data the way I have, is that only works if there's no break in data. So this will copy it automatically all the way down to the point at which there is a break in the data. But if I want to copy it further, I'm going to have to manually copy it, and I'm going to get a few errors. And if I wanted to fix that, I could put an if statement in. So that's a really useful quick shortcut, and that kind of shows the advantage of setting your formulas up properly initially to make them transferable, thinking ahead about what you don't want to know. So in this particular example, I knew I wanted to copy it a couple of columns across, and I knew I was going to copy it down. So I needed to prepare those initial formulas to suit both of those movements and still get the correct answer. And then by dragging that down or doing the double click, we can get the results that we want. Okay, so guys, I hope that was useful and I hope it makes sense. And if you found what you saw useful, please click the like button or subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Okay, guys, see you later.